Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my 10 straps of singles here that I've gone through. I'll start with this week's tip. When you find stuff that you want to keep, it's one thing to put it away in a box or to store them that way, but when you find something that's quite valuable, what you want to do is you want to put it in a sleeve similar to this. You've seen me pulling out these sleeves or bills in these sleeves before, and it's the best way to store a bill without getting additional creases or without it getting dirty or anything. These are quite flexible. This particular one says for modern currency, standard currency holders. There was 100 of them in this pack right there, 100 per pack. I paid $20 for this. So this is a good way to store your currency whenever you find anything good. And you can tell I go through quite a few of those. All right, so here's my 1,000. I went through these, and let's see what I found. Anytime I find an interesting stamp, I pull it out. And I'm not keeping this for any reason. I just wanted to pull it to show you because it was something that I found. It looks like it's from a place called Shots in Miami. Not really necessarily advertising for them, but like I said, whenever I find any kind of interesting stamp, I like to pull it out. Speaking of stamps, there's my favorite stamp, Where's George? I've seen this stamp before, so I know who the collector is. I will log this one, as I do with all of my Where's Georges. I found an alternator. This one has zeros as the alternator, 0 every other number. This is a trinary, and it was so close to a repeater. 1s, 2s, and 3s. If that second 2 there, if that 2 was a 3, it would have been 133, 133. That would have been really neat. But still a trinary nonetheless. Found lots of quads. Quad 2s in this one. Also a trinary with 1s, 2s, and 7s. Another trinary here. Well, actually a trinary and quads as well. This one's quad 3s and 0s, 3s, and 9s. Really crisp bill. This one has quad 6s. Not in the greatest of shape. Quad 7s. And we get to my stars. 2013 star. Dropped one. This one's 2013 as well. H. Another 2013 H. I always like to put these up there just in case one of these ends up being one of the rare ones. You can see that it's one that I found in circulation. Not the greatest of shape there, but starting with 2 zeros. Another K note. Pair of 11s on that. That's kind of neat looking. More stars, more stars. I was actually reviewing some of my other videos and I saw some of the rare notes that I had found without knowing that they were rare at the time. These I will go through, like I said, and check on mycurrency.com. That has a great listing for star notes. And as you can see in this group, I have found quite a few. So hopefully some of these bills will make another appearance as I show them to be rare. But we'll wait and see. This one's the oldest one, 2006, for a star note. Then we get to my older bills. This one is a 1995. A little bit of wear in the center, but the paper quality on this one is really, really good. 1995, not so good. 1995J here. 1988. It's got these stains on it. That's too bad because the bill itself was in decent shape. And then one of the harder finds, this one is a 1974. You can go to coin shops and find bills from the 60s. You can find, the 63s and the 69s and all their variants, and it's fairly easy to find bills in the 80s in circulation. But in the 70s, nobody bothered to save these bills. So I always find the bills from the 70s the hardest bills to find. Coin shops generally aren't going to have bills from the 70s because there doesn't seem to be any value in holding them. And like I said, you're going to find bills from the 80s in circulation. So whenever I find one from the 70s, I always consider that a really good find. All right, so that's what I found going through my straps. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about what got me started. The first time I ever went to a coin shop was because I wanted to buy 1 ounce of gold. And if you don't know how to buy 1 ounce of gold, I did not want a piece of paper that said I owned an ounce of gold. I wanted the ounce of gold in my hand. And that quest is what brought me into a coin shop for the first time and turned me on to collecting money and collecting paper money and all the things that I have. So when it comes to precious metals, let me share with you some of the stuff that you'll have. First of all, you've got stuff like this. This is just scrap. I actually found this on the road. This is a silver ring. If I look real close, it says 925 silver on it. It's severely tarnished, and it's just silver. Whatever the weight is, that's the value. I mean, it's in pretty rough shape. I did look this up on eBay. This particular logo here, and in nice shape, this is like a $125 ring. This is not $125 worth of silver, but it is 9.25 silver. So to find that on the street, that's scrap silver. That's great. Another way you're going to find is what are called rounds. This is a copper round. It's just simply 1 ounce of copper, 1 ounce, 0.999 fine copper, Golden State Mint. There's a lot of different mints that mint these coins. Some people like collecting the different variants because you can have virtually anything on a copper round. Me, I just wanted to have a copper round to say that I had one. Copper is a precious metal, semi-precious metal, but they usually rate copper by the pound, not by the ounce. That's how rare or unrare, I guess how common it would be. But it's still neat because it looks like a buffalo nickel. So that would be a round, okay? I talked about scrap silver. This isn't necessarily scrap silver. This is an 1883 Morgan silver dollar. Not in the greatest of shape, but I can make out the date. I can make everything on it. So no matter what grade this comes out to be, I know that it's still 90% silver. And you'll find people selling 90% silver things on eBay, 90% silver culled coins, the stuff they've pulled from their collection. This one is actually fairly decent, so I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to be doing anything funky with that. But if you really wanted an ounce of silver, you'd probably get yourself a silver bar. Silver bars come in all kinds of different shapes. Well, usually that's the standard size, but the different logos. This one here says 1 troy ounce of fine silver, made in the USA, and it's got what looks like a Morgan dollar imprinted on there, which is why I brought out the Morgan dollar for comparison. And once again, to show these two side by side, you can see 1 ounce of silver, almost an ounce of silver here, thickness. So that's what 1 ounce of silver is. Silver is fairly cheap. Usually you're going to get this under $15 or under $20. If you want to go a little more, you can get a 5 ounce bar. This is 5 troy ounces of silver. It's certified there, also with the buffalo nickel Indian head face on there. And there's the back of that on there. You're going to find all kinds of different designs and stuff on the bars. But this one's 5 ounces. One point I would like to make about troy ounces. An ounce is not an ounce. You may think that there are 16 ounces in a pound. And if you think that, you'd be right if you were measuring food, but not if you're measuring precious metal. Precious metal is always done in troy ounces. And there are 12 troy ounces in a pound, not 16. So if someone sells you 1 imperial ounce versus 1 troy ounce, and they charge you the price of a troy ounce, that would be a bad thing. Actually, that would be a good thing if you were getting 16. Anyway, troy ounces are 12 ounces per pound. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that I had gotten that in there. So 5 ounces, fairly thick, fairly good size. And then you can move up the scale into what people stack. These are 2 10 troy ounces of 999 fine silver. And what I noticed about these is kind of interesting. On the back here, I don't know if you can read it with the glare, it says minted from U.S. Strategic Stockpile Silver, Formerly stored at USSA office, San Francisco. And on the bottom, there's a date, 1981. What I found interesting about this is you can see that there's tarnish on here. You can see that there's a little bit of discoloring. This is silver. There's nothing wrong with that. It is silver. But an interesting point is this case that they put it on. See all this discoloring? That is because of this particular plastic. This particular plastic contains PVC. And when you store silver in PVC, you get that kind of discoloring. Now for a silver bar, this is still a silver bar. It's still worth 10 ounces of silver. I bought it as 10 ounces of silver, and I will sell it as 10 ounces of silver. But if you had a silver coin and it was stored in PVC, you're going to end up with this damage on your coin, and that's going to affect the value. So when I was showing these, you can see that it is not PVC, it is unplasticized. So that's what makes these holders here much better. And this is what happens when you don't use that. So those are the different types of bars that you're going to find. Those are the different types of rounds you're going to find. Those are the different types of junk coins and junk silver you're going to find. But if you really wanted, like I did, if you wanted to get 1 ounce of gold, this is a $50 gold coin, minted in the US, of course. On the back, let's see if I can get that to focus. United States of America, in God we trust, e pluribus unum. 1 ounce fine gold, $50. I don't think that you would be spending this for $50 because an ounce of gold is well over $1,000. You can get these in bar form. Usually you're going to find these like the 1 ounce silver bars. But whenever I want to get an ounce of gold, I tend to get the bullion coins. These are a little tougher to fake. What's interesting is that these coins here, it says 1 ounce fine gold. But if I recall, these coins are actually only 90% gold. However, they're still 1 ounce, and they still sell for the same price as 1 ounce of gold. There are other gold coins you can get. You can get Krugerrands, or you can get Chinese pandas, you can get Canadian maple leaves, and those actually are 99 or 999 gold. The US one is, I believe, 90% gold, yet it still sells for the same price. All right, so that's it. That's what got me going. That's what got me starting in collecting this coin right here, just trying to get 1 ounce of gold in my collection. If you learned anything new in this video, please leave a like. If you like what you see and you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe. Be sure to tell your friends. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next week.